हे जगदम्बे विलंब करो तुना आपन से मोई आके बचाओ हो हे जगदम्बे जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी दम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी दम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी तुम ही हो माता तुम स्वर सरी तुम ही हो माता तुम स्वर सरी शरणगत प्रतिपालनहारी शरणगत प्रतिपालनहारी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 विंध्याचल रानी जय 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 विंध्याचल रानी आदिशक्ति विगत भवानी आदिशक्ति विगत भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी सिहर बहिनी जय जगमाता सिहर बहिनी जय जगमाता जय 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 त्रिभुवन सुखदाता जय 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 त्रिभुवन सुखदाता जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी कष्ट निवारणी जय जगदेवी कष्ट निवारणी जय जगदेवी जय 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 असुरन सुर सेवी जय 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 असुरन सुर सेवी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी महिमाया मितय पार तुम्हारा महिमाया मितय पार तुम्हारा शेषा है समुख बरनकारी शेषा है समुख बरनकारी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी दम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी दम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी राम गले माला, राम गले माला, राम गले माला, राम गले माला। अब तो सिया, अरे अब तो सिया डाले राम गले माला। अब तो सिया डाले राम गले माला। राम गले माला, राम गले माला, राम गले माला, राम गले माला। अब तो सिया, अरे अब तो सिया डाले राम गले माला। अब तो सिया डाले राम गले माला। रावण कहे अब तब से बड़ा है, रावण कहे अब तब
दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे माँ दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे माँ दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ करुणा सागर माँ करुणा सागर माँ काली कपालनी माँ काली कपालनी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जय काली जय जय 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 माँ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे माँ दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ करुणा सागर माँ करुणा सागर माँ काली कपालनी माँ काली कपालनी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जय काली जय जय 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 माँ ओ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ ओ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे माँ दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ करुणा सागर माँ करुणा सागर माँ काली कपालनी माँ काली कपालनी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जय काली जय जय 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 माँ ओ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे माँ दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे माँ दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे माँ दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ करुणा सागर माँ करुणा सागर माँ काली कपालनी माँ काली कपालनी माँ जगदोरारणी माँ जगदोरारणी जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा, भवानी हो रामा, अचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी, जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा, भवानी हो रामा, अचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी। जगमग जगमग ज्योति विराजे, ज्योति विराजे। जगमग जगमग ज्योति विराजे, ज्योति विराजे। तेज प्रताप वरानी हो राम, वरानी हो रामा, अचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी, जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा, भवानी हो रामा, अचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी। महिमा गमा परा तुम्हारो, पर तुम्हारो। महिमा गमा परा तुम्हारो, पर तुम्हारो। देश सूर्यासन जानी हो रामा, जानी हो रामा, अचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी, जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा, भवानी हो रामा, अचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी। दुख हरनी सुख संपत्ति भरनी, संपत्ति भरनी।
अम्ब भवानी माता, अम्ब भवानी माता, अम्ब भवानी माता। जय जय देवी अम्ब भवानी माता। जय जय देवी अम्ब भवानी माता। अम्ब भवानी माता, अम्ब भवानी माता, अम्ब भवानी माता। जय जय देवी अम्ब भवानी माता।
जय जय देवी अम्बा भवानी माता।
हाथ जोत कर बिन चरणों में ले लो मेरे प्रणाम, ले लो मेरे सलाम। हाथ जोत कर तेरे चरणों में ले लो मेरा सलाम, ले लो मेरा सलाम। जय जय देवी त्रिशूलधारी माता। जय जय देवी त्रिशूलधारी माता। त्रिशूलधारी माता, त्रिशूलधारी माता, त्रिशूलधारी माता। जय जय देवी अम्ब भवानी माता। जय जय देवी अम्ब भवानी
माता।
करुणा सागर, करुणा सागर मेरे पूजा। करुणा सागर सुनो मेरे पूजा, ले लो मेरा प्रणाम, ले लो मेरा प्रणाम। जय देवी अम्ब भवानी माता। जय जय देवी अम्ब भवानी माता। अम्ब भवानी माता, अम्ब भवानी माता, अम्ब भवानी माता। जय जय देवी अम्ब भवानी माता। अम्ब भवानी माता, अम्ब भवानी माता। काली कमली और की आई भक्तों के भगवान रे, तेरी मेरी नहीं पहचान रे। काली कमली और कियाई भक्तों के भगवान रे। तेरी मेरी नहीं पहचान रे। तेरी मेरी नहीं पहचान रे। कैसा तूने रूप दिखाया, तन रहराया मन रहराया। कैसा तूने रूप दिखाया, तन रहराया मन रहराया। बालक तेरे गोद में आया, बालक तेरे गोद में आया। रखना इसका मान रे। तेरी मेरी नहीं पहचान रे। काली कमली और कियाई भक्तों के भगवान रे। तेरी मेरी नहीं पहचान रे। बिना हाथ से भोजन करता, बिन पावों से चरता फिरता। बिना हाथ से भोजन करता, बिन पावों से चरता फिरता। सब कुछ सुनता कुछ नहीं कहता, सब कुछ सुनता कुछ नहीं कहता। अज गए तेरी शान रे। तेरी मेरी नहीं पहचान रे। काली कमली और कियाई भक्तों के भगवान रे। तेरी मेरी नहीं पहचान रे। तेरी मेरी नहीं पहचान रे।
प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। आज शक्ति देवी दुर्गा माता की। So devotees and friends, what a wonderful evening again we have commenced, and this been how much? 5 evenings? Is 4 or 5? 5. This is the 5th evening in the Navraatri, and we have both Devi messages and we had also Hanumanji message, because we are working down ourselves towards Hanuman Jayanti for the 5th of April. Putting the hands together, closing the physical eyes, we all concentrate and meditate upon the Divine Master as we ask for guidance and protection. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारतम् अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् पनित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतं धर्म संसार प्रणाथाय संभवामि युगे युगे यं ब्रह्मा वरुन्द्ररुद्रमरुतं स्तुवन्ति देव्यः सवै वेदैः सङ्गपदाकृपनिषदे गायन्ते यं सामगाम् ध्यानवष्टितटधगतेन मनसां पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यश्यन्तं न विदुःसुरसुरगणः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम। प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे मां, 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 दुर्गे मां जय 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 दुर्गे मां, जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे मां, जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे मां, जय
जगदम्बे दुर्गे मां, जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे मां,
दुर्गे मां जय दुर्गे मां, दुर्गे मां जय दुर्गे नारायणी ओम 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 जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे मां, जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे मां। Adi Shakti Devi Durga Mata ki. So my dear friends, I have been telling to you that supreme power, that supreme consciousness, what we call the Shakti, together with Bhagwan Shiva, they took that first form. And so my dear friends, from there came Durga, who is the protector, who is the remover of all ills, pains, and distress. We had Lakshmi, the mother of wealth and prosperity, the one who keeps away hate and anger, greed and malice from us. Then we had Saraswati, that mother, that subtle mother. And then we had Savitri, the fourth manifestation of that Shakti. The fifth form, my dear friends, is Radhika. Not just the Radhika who was with Bhagwan Krishna, but this is the absolute Radhika. This is the Radhika, my dear friends, that gives us life. Tomorrow, I will deal with this Radhika. Tonight, I want to take Sundarkan of the Ramayana to another spot. I want to take Sundarkan a little closer to Hanuman Jayanti so that we would be able to carry and to cover those parts. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki. Because last evening, I reached a very important part, and I do not want to give you less this evening. I want you to really understand. So we commence from where we left out last evening. कपी के ममता पूछ पर सब ही कहाँ समुझाई ठेल भोरी फद भंडी पुनी पवक देऊ लगाई. Remember, my dear friends, last evening we were saying that we are at that point where Ravan was ready to kill Hanuman. He drew his sword and everything else. But always remember, when you're a child of God, we are all children of God, but when you totally allow your life to be saturated into God, something will come in the midst to ensure that you are being saved. So Bibhishan, the brother of Ravan, who lived a sattvic life, who lived a life of selflessness, who lived a life chanting the name of God. I hope all of us believe that Bibhishan, Lanka was a storehouse of all the demons, all the negative things, but yet still in Lanka, there was Bibhishan, the brother of Ravan. And the brother of Ravan, my dear friends, was a Satogun. He waked up every morning chanting Ram, 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 Ram. Something which most of us may not have done. Some of us go to sleep angry, wake up angry. How are we going to chant Ram, 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 Ram? If we wake up angry in the morning, there is no Ram in your mind. There's something else. So devotees and friends, Bibhishan came to his brother and he said, brother, remember last night when he told him? He said, this is a messenger. This is not your enemy. This is a messenger from your enemy. And if you kill him, the world will not see you well. My dear friends, one thing about the egoistic person likes the world to see him as a good person. The egoistic person will do everything to justify he is the best person. You look around and you'll see it happening. All the wrongdoers, my dear friends, what they do, all of them have the press on their side and they call the press conference and they justify why the wrongdoing is the correct thing. So Ravan, when he heard that nobody will think well of him, he said, all right. He said, a monkey, and this is where the Doha starts. He said, a monkey tail is his status. A monkey tail is his status. So I want everybody to go and bring all the oil that you can get in Lanka, and bring, my dear friends, all the rags. We are going to deal with the tail of this monkey. And his intention now, my dear friends, was to hurt Hanuman. He said when Hanumanji get hurt, he will go straight to his Lord, who is master, and he will come back here, so I'll know his strength, I'll know his power. So Ravan now still too, he has a fear for this Sri Ram. But what happens, the egoistic man does not show that fear. The egoistic man just push himself forward, and he push his chest forward, and he believes that he is the master of it all. So devotees and friends, the people of Lanka now started to go and gather the oil and all of that. Let us listen. Jai Ram Sita Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. समीत निश्चर नाहरी।
जय राम सीता राम जय जय राम। जय राम सीता राम जय जय राम। जय राम सीता राम जय जय राम। जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। So devotees and friends, कपिहि ममता पूछ पर सब ही कहूँ समुझाई. So the monkey, they instructed for all to bring the oil and the rags so that they can light his tail afire. Devotees and friends, पूछ ही बनार तहं जयहि तव सत निज नटहि लय ayhi. It says Ravan now is making a mockery out of Hanuman in his own way. He's saying when the tailless monkey goes back, and when he goes back to his master, he say his master along with him, they will come back here. I will see, this is what he's saying. I will now have the privilege to see the might of his master, who he is so much praising and exalting in his words. And Hanuman didn't afraid, my dear friends. Hanuman didn't afraid to exalt his leader, because his leader was really powerful. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki. So devotees and friends, it says here, Bhachana sunata kapi man mushukhana. He said when Hanumanji heard of Ravan plan and all of that, it says Hanumanji started to smile to himself when he heard his words of Ravan. He says, Saraswati Devi, Goddess Sharada, has proved helpful to me. I believe on hearing Ravan command, the stupid demons started doing as they were ordered to do. Hanumanji is saying that he is blessed to hear these words of Ravan. Devotees and friends, when somebody is talking foolishness around, you don't get vexed with them and so on. Leave them alone. Because if you get angry with them, then you become more foolish too. Because you disturb in your mind with their foolishness. So Hanuman, my dear friends, was smiling at what Ravan was saying. He knew that what Ravan was saying was just, he was bragging. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai. So devotees, Katha continues. He says, all the demons started to get all the rags and the oil and so on. Rahanagar basan grit tail. He said, not a piece of rag or a drop of ghee. The ghee is the oil, ghee is clarified butter. It says, not a drop was left in the city. And it said the tail has grown so, at such a great length. Hanuman started to play. So when they tie up here and they believe that, okay, they have enough tail here, enough cloth now, and oil to soak, he pushed the tail a little longer. Remember, Hanuman had siddhis. Siddhis is the power. He could have made himself small, he could have made himself big, he could have, could have disappeared even from there. They didn't want to do him all of that. He could have disappeared from that. He had that power. But he was playing with them now. Let me see what they're going to do. So my dear friends, they tie up here and they feel they had enough. He pushed the tail a little longer. So they had to go and get more cloth now. It says he pushed his tail to such a length that there was not a drop of oil and a piece of rag again. In Lanka, all were tied on his tail. Prem Sabali Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki. And my dear friends, he's now waiting. He's now waiting to see what is going to happen. But it says here, Hanumanji was not worried about that. Because devotees and friends, he was just playing with them. And so the citizens came around to see the fun. What was the fun? They came there to see, my dear friends, how Hanuman's tail is going to burn. You know, if it have a little incident somewhere, let me say, you have a little incident outside the gate here. All you go leave Pandit Vishnu talking here and all you go by that incident to see what happening outside there, you know. So my dear friends, the same thing. Oh, activities taking place in Ravan Palace, everybody come to see now. And so my dear friends, they started to beat drum and they started to clap their hands. And they took him around the city, my dear friends. And there they set his tail on fire. And when Hanuman saw the fire blazing, he immediately assumed a very small form. Bayahu param, lagahu rupa turantar. Lagahu means a very small, rup is form, take a very small form. Because remember, he was tied up in a net of snakes. So he make himself very small and get out of that net, my dear friends. And slipping out of that net, he sprang upon the attic of the palace to the dismay of all the demonesses and all of them. Dear, my dear friends, the palace started to burn. Prem Sabali Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki. While this was happening, my dear friends, Sita had word of what was going to happen. Remember, Sita is Shakti Devi. And she started to pray for her son. Remember, she have accepted Hanumanji as a son. And my dear friends, that acceptance of her son was just as good as biological. Because she had all that love for him just the same way. And she started to pray to who? She started to pray to, again, Devta. Swaha Devi she started to pray to. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Swaha Rupena Sanskritam Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. My dear friends, the fire without Swaha Devi cannot do anything at all. Swaha Devi is the burning power of the fire. And so, my dear friends, the Shakti, remember Sita is absolute Shakti. She is not just the Sita sitting down there, which came out of the earth from Raja Dashrath. No, that's the Shakti, that's the consciousness. So, my dear friends, that Sita, not the Vedvati, the Sita from within, was praying, my dear friends, for her son. And so Swaha Devi pulled away herself from that fire. So the fire from the tail of Hanuman. But my dear friends, now the fire was raging. And who was this father of Hanumanji? Who is the, what we'll say, foster father? People who understand, they will say, is Pavanasut, the son of the wind god. He says, and he takes his full 49 forces of the wind, and the fire started to flame as Hanumanji now have the palace on fire, and he's leaving the palace and he's moving out.
हे अवसाद
me. Children of God, what follows? Remember, they lighten up the boy tail and the drum starts to beat. I wonder if it was a beat like where Ravi beat it just now. This was a warrior kind of beat. And so, my dear friends, it says that he made himself very small and he got out. And the first place he went, the first place that he showed his power, is when he jumped on the attic of the palace and it started to burn. It says at that moment, my dear friends, Pavan sent 49 different types of wind and it began to blow. It says Hanumanji roared and he laughed. And he laughed aloud. And he jumped so high, my dear friends. It says, Tulsidas ji says, the demons and them believed that he was going to touch the sky. This was the joy in which he was doing what he had to do. Deha bisala param aru ayi. He say, though he was, very huge now in size, he says his foot was very, very, light on the ground. So he just touching the ground and he going up again. My dear friends, like a bumping ball, he was moving. He ran and he sprang from top to top in each palace. And the city was all ablaze. And the people were as their wit. And terrible flames burst forth everywhere. And the piteous cries were heard all around. And these were the cries, my dear friends, of the demons. Oh Father, oh Mother, who going to help me now this hour? Who going to save us at this hour? Devotees and friends, when the wickedness into our minds and we laughing when we seen that the divine person is under pressure. When the karma return back now, you just want to know who going to save you. But it had nobody to save you, my dear friends. For the Lord tells to us, when you hurt a devotee of God, remember when Ravan kicked Bibhishan, when Bibhishan was saying that he was going to Sri Ram, and Parvati, my dear friends, was told by Lord Shiva, he said, when one become hostile to a devotee of God, pretty soon his end will come. He said it is easier for hair to grow on a tortoise back and a barren woman to have a child than for one who is hostile to God to find happiness. Devotees and friends, where will you find a divine person? A divine person is within each and every one of us. Hurt none at all, my dear friends. So it tells to us here that they were asking now who is going to help us and who is going to save us at this hour. What were they saying? All the demonists and the demons. This ain't no monkey. This is some God in the form of a monkey. Devotees and friends. Sadhu avagya karapalu aisa. It tells to us here, my dear friends, such is the result of despising a noble soul. Again, here it come back and it say again, I just recall when Ravan was strike Bibhishan. Here again, my dear friends, who is saying it again? The same people is saying it again. Bhagwan Shiva is talking to Parvati Mata and he's saying, you see what happening there in Lanka? Such is the result of despising a noble soul. When one, my dear friends, intention is always good, when one intention is to help lift others, and that, my dear friends, has been obstructed, remember the fire coming behind. Remember the fire coming behind, my dear friends. So devotees and friends, children of Dharam Ki Awaaz, share love wherever you go, my dear friends who have been supporting us. Share your love. The word of Bhagwan have to continue. And those who obstruct the words of Bhagwan, the fire is going to come behind. Children of God, remember this. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki. So my dear friends, it says in the twinkling of an eye, Hanuman burned down the whole city of Lanka, except the house of Vibhishan. Shiva ji कहते हैं, हे पार्वती, जिन्होंने अग्नि को बनाया, हनुमान जी उन्हों के दूत है. Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati, he said, how Shiva could be hurt? He is a servant of God. My dear friends, if you are a true devotee of God who could say what they want, leave them alone. Leave them alone, my dear friends. If you do no wrong, you have nothing to justify. It is only the one who is the perpetrators. They have something to justify. The victim have nothing to justify. So you have nobody to talk to and nobody to clear anything with. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki. But always remember, when you hurt a devotee of God, a noble soul, fire coming behind to consume you. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai. And these are the words of Parvati. This is why, my dear friends, Tulsidas ji ensured that he tells to us, this is Shiva Bhagwan talking to Parvati. This is not Tulsidas ji talking. So who wants to hurt the noble souls? You go ahead, interfere with them. The fire will come behind. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai. My dear friends, it says Hanumanji went on scratch because he was a messenger of that who create the fire. And these are the words of Shiva Bhagwan to Parvati. He burned the whole of Lanka from one end to the other and then dumped in the ocean to out the tail now. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki. After outing the tail, he went to Parvati and to Sitama. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai. So devotees and friends, understand this katha. What is this? Hanumanji came, my dear friends. Hanumanji came into Lanka to prepare Lanka for the coming of Sri Ram, because Sri Ram had to come into Lanka. And how he was going, Lanka was an embodiment of Tamogun. My dear friends, so the fire that you see was burning Lanka. It was burning away what? It was burning away the hate and the anger and the show-eating that we have. It tells to us, Bhagavad Gita quite clearly stated. It says that the religious devotion is of three kinds. He said when a person is praying, and that person is praying to just show people that he praying, Hanuman go burn you. And when you're praying, my dear friends, to hurt others, not thinking about anything else because you want to grab, my dear friends, Hanumanji is going to burn you. So you have to be careful what you pray for too, because praying is of Trinitya. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki. So my dear friends, it tells to us here that we have to be very, very, very careful how we live within So all that the tamogun, my dear friends, continue to be when you're making wrong decisions. When you have no concern about nobody. When you're selfish, you're only thinking about yourself. When you will speaking others. That, my dear friends, is the tamogun. And that is what Ravan, Hanumanji, my dear friends, come to burn away in Lanka so that Prabhu Shri Ram can pass and come. I love to hear when people say, my heart pure and the Lord is in my heart. Yes, the Lord is in your heart. I assure that. I assure you that the Lord is into the hearts of each and every one of us. But my dear friends, because we have hate, because we have anger, because we have greed, because we have backbiting, because we have malice, because we want everything for ourselves and we are causing mischief, my dear friends, that suppress the God in us. So we can't think about God. All we're thinking about is the wickedness that we want to do. Praise Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki. And that is what Hanumanji came. So when you hear Hanuman jump from rooftop to rooftop in Lanka, it's not just a story to tell you that Hanuman burned down Lanka. Is that Hanuman, my dear friends, the self-realized being, is burning within us. The hate and the anger, the jealousy, the greed, the backbiting, the mischief making. And the longer it takes to burn it out, is the more fire you will feel, is the more heat, is the more agitation you will be, just like the monkeys and them, the demons and them in Lanka. Oh Father, oh Mother, who going to help us now at this hour? When the fire they not know, now you're looking who going to save you. But that fire, my dear friends, according to Tulsidas, will not affect the devotee, the person, the devotee of God, because God is the one who have created this fire. The fire to burn away the impurities from our mind. So my dear friends, let this Navraatri, let this Hanuman Jayanti help us to burn away some of the hate and the anger we have inside of us. And nobody could say none of us, we are free from hate and anger, Everyone at some point in time, sometimes there's got a little hate and anger in us. Not so, Dylan? Principal Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. And so, devotees and friends, yes, I know it's 9:15 now, we're going to end now. Principal Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Principal Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki. So, devotees and friends, I tell all devotees, all to try and reach here 6:30 to make all your offerings. But when you reach in 7:15, and when 9 o'clock you want to thief away my time for my message too, no, it's not right. Principal Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Hanumanji with folded hand now went at the feet of Mother Sita and he said, Mother, give me a token that I can take back to Sri Ram so that he will know that I met you and he will be preparing to come for you. Prem se bole Sri Pawan Putra Hanuman ki. So devotees and friends, this brings us the end this evening. Let us now get your coconuts and so on as we will prepare ourselves for Aarti. All please stand. Whether you have a coconut or not, you'd pray now. You pray in us of that Divine Mother. Whatever wish, desire you have now, keep it there. Hari Om Sri Krishna Krishna Sagaya Pavitya Mamasya Vidya Pradveshri Vala Kalipate Saptame Vaivasman Vantar Kalipatam Charani Jambu Dvipi West Indies Kande Arvatarike Desh Antargate Trinidad Desh Hari Om Sri 56 Mapipi Road Whiteland Williamsville Chetri Grami Bhautavatar Itat Parahi. Your names in the mind. Namayaham, your family name. Parivar Namayaham, whatever wish you have for yourself and your family, keep it there now. Om Sri Deihik Devik Bhautik Tapatraya Nirvamartya Devi Graharishi Muni Madhava. Om Sarvesham Mangalam Sarveshantu Niramaya Sarvi Badrani Pashantu Mahakachiduka Bhave. Hari Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Chama Shive Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namastate. Adi Shakti Devi Durga Mata ki Jai. Suno mere Devi Parvat Vashini Tera Parana Paya. Suno mere Devi Parvat Vashini Tera Parana Paya. Tera Parana चक्र चढ़ाया कलियुग द्वापर त्रेता मध्य में कलियुग राजसवारा कलियुग राजसवारा पान सुपारी ध्वजा ले तेरे भेंट चढ़ाया जगदम्बे दुर्गे माँ, जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे
माँ, जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे माँ, जय जगदम्बे दुर्गे माँ। ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः। दुर्गा देवी आय नमः, 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 दुर्गा देवी आय नमः। ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः। लक्ष्मी माता आय नमः, 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 लक्ष्मी माता आय नमः। ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः। सरस्वती देवी आय नमः, सरस्वती देवी आय नमः, सरस्वती देवी आय नमः, सरस्वती देवी आय नमः। ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः, ओम नमो नारायण नमः। दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ, दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ, दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ, दुर्गे माँ, दुर्गे दुर्गे जय जय माँ। करुणा सागर माँ, करुणा सागर माँ, काली कपालिनी माँ, काली कपालिनी माँ, जगरोधारिणी माँ, जगरोधारिणी माँ, जगरोधारिणी माँ, जगरोधारिणी माँ। जय काली जय जय माँ, जय काली जय जय माँ, जय काली जय जय माँ, जय काली जय जय माँ। ओ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ, दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ। ओ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ, ओ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ, ओ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ, दुर्गे जय जय माँ, दुर्गे जय जय माँ।
Adi Shakti Devi Durga Mata ki. Put in the hands together, close your physical eyes, and talk to the Divine Mother as we bring this evening's session to a close. Om Asato Ma Sate Gamayan Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamayan Mrityoramam Amritam Gamayan. Om Tvameva Matam Chapita Tvamevam Tvameva Bandhuscha Sikham Tvamevam Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvamevam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Devam. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Adi Shakti Devi Durga Mata ki, Sanatan Dharma ki, Om Sri Guru Devata ki, Jai Jai Sitaram. All please have your seat. Arti and Prasad will come to you. Join us tomorrow evening.